Hello, everyone. It is a Wednesday. That means only one thing. It's time now for Supernatural News and Parashare. Midweek. Midweek. To me, it's a bittersweet deal. Of course, we're past Thanksgiving. We're on our way to Christmas. And I'm going to bring in my co-hostess because we share one thing in common this week. A little bit of sorrow, a little bit of disappointment.
Oh, boy.
I'll explain what I mean in just a second. I think you know where I'm going here, Mel.
It's not the scale moving up
No, it's
for
not that at all.
Thanksgiving.
No. I don't
Because
know.
mine did.
Oh, did it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll get there in a second then. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. She is the mistress of the macabre. She is the queen of our paranormal. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Mallie Fox. Hi, Mallie.
Hello.
Now you said the scale might have went up just a tad. Is it? Did you enjoy your Thanksgiving?
Oh, very much so.
Very much so.
Yes, we put the elastic to work on those pants.
Oh, okay. Well, then it was a good Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, those yoga pants did its job.
Ah, excellent. Uh, I told Jess yesterday,
Uh-huh.
Manjaro's a hell of a drug. Um,
Oh, you didn't have much of an appetite?
no.
Oh, lucky.
I just one little plate,
Mm-hmm.
emphasis on the little,
Okay.
and then just a tiny little serving of extra dark meat at the end, and it took me forever to eat this plate. I think I sat with this plate for about 2.5 hours.
Oh, you're a dark meat eater?
Oh, I like both, but
Okay.
I just had a little extra protein at the end.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and yeah, and then we talked about it yesterday about the. I hate to keep railing on my dad for his choice of birthday cake. It's my little brother's birthday is right around Thanksgiving, so we celebrate my little brother's birthday. My little brother, for some reason, has been a Timberwolves fan ever since he was like 3 years old,
Okay.
which is hard living, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they really haven't been good maybe two times in their entire franchise career. And last year happened to be one of them. But he was every year he's told us they're going to go to the NBA finals, and we'd laugh and laugh and laugh, and we'd have a good laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But last year they almost did it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad gets him a Timberwolves cake. Well, he made a couple of crucial mistakes, Mel. The first
Okay.
one was that it was a marble cake. Marble cake to me is like the indecision of cakes, right?
Yeah.
Let's commit, right?
Yeah.
Let's go full on white or full on chocolate. Let's not get wishy-washy here, right?
Right.
Yeah. Uh the second major faux pas was the whipped topping.
Uh,
We always go buttercream, never go whipped topping.
yeah.
And then the half faux pas here was, of course, the Timberwolves colors are white, gray, and blue, and it's this royal blue. There's
Did
some
it color your teeth?
right. It looks like you blew a Smurf when you eat this frosting. Right? Looks like you worked your way throughout the entire Smurf village.
Right.
Right. Well, we all looked like the entire family looks like they took on the Smurf village. We didn't get paid for it. Yeah, it was quite the scene. So yeah, but the whipped
Oh,
topping, I'm not a big fan of the whipped topping.
yeah.
It leaves you unfulfilled. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? But then put the whipped topping on top of a marble cake. It's a
Yeah.
good thing we had pie. We'll put it that way.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Makes up for it.
Yeah. Did you have any misses over Thanksgiving? Like just one food you went, oof,
Um, actually, no.
No?
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. No, it was all pretty good. My parents, though, because, they live in Minnesota, they had, I mean, they're Southern. Well, they're not Southern anymore, but,
Hey,
my
it's
dad's from Kentucky.
always in the heart.
Yeah, my mom was making like collard greens and stuff.
Really?
I'm not, I'm a picky eater, and my family likes Brussels sprouts, collard greens, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And just, ugh. So when my mom was telling me what she was making and she added those two words, I was like, good thing I'm not there this year.
Not a fan of Brussels sprouts. Does she make them with bacon?
Yep, they do that with bacon and stuff, but yeah, when I heard the collard greens, bleh,
Yeah,
ick.
collard greens is a acquired taste.
Yes, yes.
I
Yeah.
I really got to be in a mood to eat them.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Uh, Brussels sprouts I'll eat, but again, it's can I be frank with you real quick? I mean, we've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
Eating a Brussels sprout's kind of like trying to chew on a fart. It's not a great tasting vegetable.
Yeah. Well,
No.
that's me with cauliflower too.
Yeah,
It's got
well,
that weird, it's like
yeah,
makes the air taste weird in your mouth.
it does. Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't do it.
My dad does not like cauliflower at all.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing though. When they were kids, they used to,
Mhm.
my grandmother, God rest her soul, would take cauliflower, and in order to jazz it up a little bit, she'd put cream of mushroom soup over it.
Okay.
Okay. And that's how they would get. To me, that's got to look like a brain. To me, that would be really cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were never served that as grandchildren. We never got that. But in order to soup it up a little, see what I did? Soup it up. Uh, she'd give them what I imagined to be something that looked like a brain. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but that image to this day makes my dad almost want to throw up.
Oh.
So he won't eat cauliflower, not even steamed or with cheese sauce or anything like that. He won't eat
Mm-hmm.
cauliflower. There's another thing he won't eat, and I won't eat it either. But it's a family staple, and that's rutabagas.
Okay.
I can't.
Does anyone eat rutabaga anymore?
People in my family do.
Oh.
Yeah,
You never hear of anyone eating rutabaga.
I know. But they keep that tradition alive in my family. I don't know why. That's one Frankenstein they should let die by torch.
You know what? My grandfather wouldn't eat chicken because growing up in Appalachia area, they had to kill their own chickens
Oh,
and he couldn't do it. He couldn't eat chicken.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Yep.
There's some of us who have our peccadillos because
Yep.
sometimes we have to go through some things in order to get that food on the table.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the way it is.
Hmm.
The reason I say suffering, Mal, is because as you can see, if you're watching the video,
Yes.
I've decided to don the colors today. Yesterday, I put on a Minnesota Wild hoodie because I wasn't quite at that point yet where I could support my team.
Hmm.
26 nothing. It was painful. I say we share something in common here because as of the time we're taping, the Detroit Lions do not have a playoff spot either.
No, I know.
Yeah. It is the Bears and the Packers of all people, of all
I know,
teams,
right?
right?
Ah,
Did you see this coming this season?
no, actually, I did not.
I didn't either.
Hmm.
I honestly thought the Lions and Vikes would be up there. They'd be and maybe the Packers would be vying for a wild card in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And we'd be laughing at the Bears at this time of
Hmm.
year.
But did you like our Thanksgiving halftime?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it good?
Yes, that's what again, I wanted to bring this up with you. Complete shock that Eminem comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling he was gonna pop out.
I it was a hope, right?
Hmm.
But to actually see it happen, I mean, I'm a big fan of Jack White anyways. I like Jack White.
Yeah.
I like his music.
Uh-huh.
I like the White Stripes. I love his solo stuff.
Yep.
He had a special relationship with Eddie Van Halen. A lot of his later guitars here are EVH guitars. And
Okay.
he's formed a relationship with Wolfgang Van Halen and the EVH crew. And he's got I believe he's working with a hollow body, I think, or a semi hollow body right now.
Hmm.
It sounds wonderful. His guitars sound wonderful. Um, and he had a custom one that Eddie made him before he died. That,
Okay.
yeah, which is really awesome. Um, got a good sound, great songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to the halftime show, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then for Eminem to show up, I thought that number was amazing. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it
Right?
was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was a wonderful halftime show. Um, you're gonna hate what I'm gonna say next.
Okay.
It's just too bad it wasn't at a Super Bowl.
I think that would have been awesome as a Super Bowl number.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but I mean, tis what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Although I could turn this whole thing around and say, well, Prince performed at a Super Bowl, but it was never at a Minnesota Super Bowl. Um, so there's that.
Yeah.
We can't always get what we want. All right. I suppose with that, we should move into news. Just
Yeah.
kind of a painful week.
Yeah.
Painful week.
Hmm.
So, yeah. But it is what it is. Some seasons you're red hot, and some seasons you have plenty of time to do shopping on Sundays. That's just
Yeah.
the way it is. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get your Christmas shopping done early this year, evidently.
Hmm.
That's the way it is. All right. Lots of stuff going on in the news this week. Mallie, Avi Loeb, and Dan Farah in the news when we talk about interstellar news today. On the AI side of things, if you're ready for this,
Ugh.
we'll be talking a little bit about um, a guy who says he's the smartest man. Oh, I'm sorry. This story is actually about life after death. Smartest man in the world who claims he knows the secret to life after death.
Okay.
That's coming up a little bit later in the program. As far as the AI stuff goes, an interesting story from ABC News. The humanoid robot that just set a new world walking record. My quote to this: "No duh. How does a humanoid robot get tired?
Yeah.
They could walk into the ocean for all I care.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're not going to get tired. So the fact that they set a record, duh. We'll talk about that. You may be saying, why are we talking about that? We're going to talk about that. There's an interesting story this week about, and you may say, well, Tim, why are we talking about this? An interesting story that just came out about Jim Morrison. And believe it or not, a Little House on the Prairie star that helped Jim Morrison flee from police.
Really?
Yeah. I just find it an off the wall type story about a guy who gets connected to the supernatural a lot. But him getting away from police because a star from Little House on the Prairie decided to help him get away. Take a little bit of a detour.
Is he still buried in Paris? Because wasn't his lease up?
Yes, he is still there. He is
Okay.
still there, but it's a tentative hold that keeps.
Okay.
Yeah, I think technically, did that lease expire? I think it expired and they renewed for a short time. I think it's 10
Okay.
renewed for, if I remember right. I'll have to look that up. Um, some people may hate this story. There's another story we're going to get into today. Um, depending on where you sit, is a biblical scholar. You're either gonna love this story, or you're gonna hate it. There's a story this week about the Gospel of Thomas, which is I believe, a Gnostic gospel. It ended up being a Gnostic gospel, but it was taken out of the Bible years and years and years and years ago, 1900 years ago, as a matter of fact. There's chapters of Jesus's life that are missing,
Okay.
particularly from his childhood. You may say, why is it missing? Maybe Jesus wasn't such a good kid after all.
Really?
Yeah, we'll find out how bad of a kid Jesus really was. So when you're not so forgiving with your child, just remember, even Jesus was a brat. We'll talk about that today, Mallie. It's actually kind of a fun story, too. And your palate cleanser for today. I've had this experience.
Okay.
And it's a little nuts. That's all I'll say. But it's a cute one.
Is nuts the hint?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's coming up at the end of the show. All right. So to start us off, Avi Loeb's back.
Again.
And he's accepted a challenge. In fact, a wager.
Oh.
Yeah. Avi Loeb accepted a skeptic's $1,000 wager over alien visitation by 2030. Evidently, somebody's calling him out.
Okay.
Yeah. The Harvard astronomer is so sure that we will find evidence of aliens that he has decided to stake money on it. Loeb, who seems adamant that there is more to interstellar visitor 3i Atlas than meets the eye, has responded to a bet put forward by Skeptic magazine publisher Dr. Michael Shermer. Oh, it's getting good now, Mallie. It's getting good. You got to love it. The precise wording of the wager is that the discovery of disclosure of alien visitation to Earth in the form of UFOs, UAPs, or any other technological artifact or alien biological form, as confirmed by any major scientific institutions and government agencies, will not happen by December 31st, 2030.
Okay. So 4 years. Well.
Yeah. Yeah, five. Well, five.
5.
Quite
Yeah.
hit, but 5 years. Whoever wins the $1,000 will donate that money to the Galileo Project Foundation. So it's going to go to a good cause. Believers appear in the media boldly predicting that by the end of the year, we will have proof of alien contact. 33 years later, I'm still waiting for said proof, said Dr. Shermer. Loeb, meanwhile, maintains that the hunt for alien life is just getting started. The search for technological artifacts has just started in earnest in 2025 with the discovery of the anomalous interstellar object 3i Atlas, the launch of the Rubin Observatory, and the construction of 3 Galileo Project observatories, he wrote in his blog. It is better to be an optimist because life is sometimes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what Loeb went on to say. Which of the two men will win the wager remains to be seen, but it would also be fair to say that Loeb has a bit of an uphill battle if he hopes for alien life to be proven within 5 years. Not only that, but he will have to prove that it has been visiting the Earth as well. No doubt we'll be reporting the outcome when and if it happens. What is your guess,
Oh, it's probably not going to happen. Wouldn't it be funny if it was like a day after the 5 years was up?
That would be funny if on January 1st, 2031,
Yeah. Yeah.
they landed on the White House lawn.
Yeah.
I would laugh. I would laugh quite heartily and all day long. And if they came out and they were like, Happy New Year, and they fired out fireworks and everything. They're like, did we win?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they wanted the $1,000.
You're right.
Right. Yeah. You know, this one's tough for me. I'll tell you why, because we do have that news footage.
Mm-hmm.
I had talked with John Gertz about on the Reinventing SETI program. You know, I got to thank you guys, by the way, for sending emails and saying to me, Tim, how can you believe John Gertz when he didn't know what a gray alien was? John Gertz helped set up SETI. I mean, he's the guy who helped basically invent SETI. He's an astronomer, folks. He's not a UFO guy. The fact that he's not, locked up in his mom's basement somewhere talking about UFOs is refreshing to me. But the fact that he doesn't sit around studying UFOs to me is refreshing. If you read his book, and again, I encourage you to read Reinventing SETI. he refers to anything, any form of life out there, just as ET or extraterrestrial. He doesn't specify alien race. So when I say grays, he goes, I don't know what a gray is. I have no idea. I could say lizard people or Jello pudding pop. He doesn't.
Oh, Jello pudding pop.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I
They
started.
they
Yeah,
don't have those anymore. They need to bring those back.
they do.
What?
Yeah, you're just
No,
evidently.
I thought they were taken off the shelves like years ago.
Nope, they're on the shelves. Yeah, you can get them.
Like the original ones?
They
Like the Bill Cosby ones?
they're made by Fudgesicle, I think, but
Okay.
they're available. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
Jello. It's Jello brand pudding pop. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but they're made in conjunction with another company, but they're there.
Okay.
They're available. I know because I bought one about half a year ago. I bought a box.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they were discontinued. And anyone younger than us is probably like, why is she referencing Bill Cosby?
Right. What did Bill
It's the
Cosby?
commercials.
What did Bill Cosby do to a pudding pop? That's horrible.
If you're our age, you know what I'm talking about, the commercial.
Hopefully he drugged it first.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, but he didn't know the difference, right?
Oh.
But yeah, yeah. So I mean, thank you guys for bringing up some of the things about the Gertz program, but yeah, I find that refreshing because he truly did not know the difference. Because he's an astronomer. He spends all day looking at a telescope, looking out into space, looking for this stuff. He can tell you why he does or doesn't think there may be something out there. So it was a refreshing show, Mallie. Refreshing show. All right. Our next story has to do again with Dan Farrow. We talked about him last week. He's got that new movie out there, Age of Disclosure, that documentary that people are raving about. He says that U.S. nuclear testing was a secret attempt to disable UFOs. The filmmaker made the startling claim during a recent appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Now, Dan has been in the news quite a bit recently thanks to the release of his new high-profile documentary, Age of Disclosure, which explores the world of UFOs, aliens, and government cover-ups. During a recent interview with Joe Rogan, Farah put forward what is perhaps one of the most out-there claims about UFO phenomena that we've heard to date. U.S. atomic bomb testing in the 1950s, he argues, was actually an attempt to disguise the fact that the military was using nuclear weapons to take down UFOs. One of the realizations early on was that atomic weapon testing, nuclear weapon testing, has a ripple effect that can down these things, he said, which is crazy on multiple levels. A, you could accidentally provoke a nuclear conflict with another party that doesn't know what you're doing. And B, you're picking a fight with a more intelligent, superior species. This is what Farah had to say to Joe Rogan. Farah maintains that there is a global race to reverse engineer alien technology, and that if the United States doesn't get its act together, another country will try to get there first. Secretary of State Marco Rubio literally says in the film, and this is according to Dan Farah, if we don't get our act together and take this more seriously as a country, we're going to wake up one day and we're going to find out the hard way that China got there. He told that to Rogan. He also said, we won't know when or how, but to quote him, we will be screwed. His chin buckled when he said it. He was dead serious, and he was super concerned, and you could feel it. As things stand, however, neither Farah nor anyone he spoke to when making the documentary has been able to provide conclusive physical evidence to back up the claim that aliens are visiting us. Tell you what, there's the actual podcast itself is connected to the article. So I'll post this article in the description of the program. So normally I don't send you to another podcast to watch something, but the interview with Dan Farrow is pretty interesting. Talking about this whole entire topic of falling behind, just falling behind when it comes to the motivations of ET. Pretty interesting stuff. Well, It turns out as we continue to look at the atmosphere of Mars, Mallie, that scientists have detected lightning in the atmosphere of Mars for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know what that means. Turn the ship around. We're not going. Yeah.
Another reason why we don't want to move to Mars.
That's right. And we're not playing golf when we get there.
Right.
Yeah, because we'll get hit by it.
With our luck, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's a terrible golfer's joke, but I
Uh-huh.
anyways. New evidence suggests that the red planet is capable of producing lightning, something that's never been seen there before. It appears as though Mars may have just been added to an exclusive group of planets, including Jupiter, Saturn, and the Earth, that are capable of producing atmospheric lightning. The discovery comes courtesy of NASA's Perseverance rover, which was able to capture audio and electromagnetic recordings of lightning-like electrical discharges using its SuperCam instrument. These discharges represent a major discovery with direct implications for Martian atmospheric chemistry, climate, habitability, and the future of robotic and human exploration. Study lead author Dr. Baptiste Chide told Reuters. The researchers who analyzed 28 hours of microphone recordings found that the electrical activity was associated with dust storms on Mars. The discovery had prompted calls for a dedicated probe to be sent to Mars with instrumentation designed specifically to further analyze and confirm the presence of the lightning. This is especially important as so far, at least, the phenomenon has only been heard and not observed. One thing's for sure, if a future mission does actually manage to capture a photograph of lightning on Mars, it will be one for the record books. Here's my concern, though.
Uh-huh.
Supposedly, the magnetosphere, whatever it was that was holding the atmosphere together on Mars, has been stripped away. So if you got lightning on Mars, where is it coming from?
Oh,
No?
yeah. No, that's a good question.
And if you got lightning on Mars, is it, I mean, and you actually did get a cloud, is it cloud to cloud? Is it cloud to ground? And how big is this lightning? Right? I mean, is
Yeah.
it like, like threatening, like life threatening? Is it a charge on the planet, on the surface of the planet? Or, is it gonna, is it one of those things where we send a crew up there and they're, I don't know, like Matt Damon in that movie, The Martian, he's up there and he's
Oh,
potato
yeah.
farming and all of a sudden, boom, he gets hit with a bolt or what?
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting question. Our next story has to do with two stars that are spiraling towards catastrophe, and they're going to put Einstein's gravity to the test. Now, the two stars are in the nearby system of, try and memorize this name, Mallie, ZTF J2130.
Sounds like my AT&T thing when it asks for my password when I have to reset it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't change it to a regular name. You got to keep it as the AT lowercase blah 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 number.
the the default password.
Yep.
Yeah. The two stars are in the nearby system ZTF-J2130, and they're spiraling towards a catastrophic supernova. In the meantime, scientists are using the pair's slow orbital decay to put Einstein's theory of gravity to the test. Kind of sounds like a slow romantic reunion between two stars that are going to crash horribly. Astronomers have observed a pair of stars locked in a death spiral. And their dance of doom is revealing more about how gravity works. Now, the system, again, called, I think they just keep naming it over and over again, so we'll memorize it. ZTF J2130 sits about 4,000 light years away. And although astronomers have known about this system for a while, this is the first time that they have observed it with such high clarity. The two stars that make up the system will soon merge. Their spiraling motion agrees with theoretical predictions, which means even more refined future observations will allow researchers to use this system to test our understanding of gravity. The team wrote in a study submitted for publication in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics in October. This is a very old system. One of the stars is a white dwarf, the white hot leftover core of a sun-like star. The other is what's known as a subdwarf star, but it's just fine in my eyes. I mean, you don't have to think about it. Which is a small star near the end of its life cycle. The two stars are so close together that they complete an orbit in just under 40 minutes. In fact, they already started to kiss. Oh, isn't that cute? Mm-hmm. A little subdwarf star, a little white dwarf star. And look at that.
Mushy, mushy.
Mushy, mushy. Their mutual gravity is so strong that they've stretched and distorted, with the subdwarf's material flowing onto the white dwarf's companion. It sounds kind of dirty. You know, I think maybe astronomers take it a little bit too far because they spend too much time in the lab.
Uh-huh.
Ever get that feeling?
Or we just make the simplest things the dirtiest things.
It could be. Yeah, that could be my fault too.
It probably is that.
That's probably it. Because the stars are pretty hefty, well, we don't judge here on this program. Mm-hmm. And moving very quickly, they're quick for their size. They emit gravitational waves, which are ripples in the fabric of space-time, first predicted by Albert Einstein and confirmed to exist in 2015. This emission of gravitational waves saps energy from the system, inching the two stars ever closer every year. You know, and that's the way it should be, Mallie. I mean, they really should grow closer if they're going to kiss like that. They really shouldn't grow apart. I'm just saying, right? Uh-huh. I mean, ultimately, in a relationship like that, you want that to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a star psychologist here.
Right.
But I really think they should grow closer.
Gotcha.
That's a bad joke. Using a combination of data from the Oscar Leuning telescope at the Hamburg Observatory in Germany and the Caja Observatory in Spain and Germany and Spain, the astronomers undertook a painstaking campaign to measure the orbital period as precisely as possible. They found that the orbit is slowly decaying with every passing second, and the orbital period shrinks by about 2 millionths of a second. This is in line with calculations based on our current theoretical understanding of gravity, but scientists have been eager to move past Einstein's theory of general relativity for more than a century. So any opportunity to test it immediately draws interest. Now, the astronomers discovered that an upcoming gravitational wave observatory known as the Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, or LISA, see what they did there? They love their acronyms. Mm-hmm. Should be able to directly measure the gravitational waves emanating from the system. The European Space Agency plans to launch LISA in the 2030s, and this stellar pair will still be around next decade. So when the stars finally merge, they will release a supernova-level explosion that might be bright enough to be seen with the naked eye. In the meantime, before we get to enjoy that fireworks show, we'll just have to put gravity to the test.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh? Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, I don't know what I just read, but that's pretty cool. No, it's interesting that they can, with such a large object from so far away, that they can determine whether Einstein was right about his theory of gravity or not. Mm-hmm. Or his theory of relativity, at least. All right. Our next story has to do with what would happen if 100 billion ton black hole hit you. I can tell you this much, I probably still wouldn't be here. I think that will end the story right now.
Yes.
But they want to take it one step further. They claim that black holes are undeniably terrifying. I'll give them that. Mm-hmm. They also claim that they're extraordinarily dense objects. I don't know. I've never talked to one. But
got it. Yep.
They say which typically form when a particularly massive star or stars collapse in on itself, draw in anything unfortunate enough to get close, and once you are ensnared by one, Nothing, not even light itself, will escape. But not all black holes are the same size. Some are actually quite small. If you're lucky enough to get one that small, God love you guys. You know what I'm saying? Hey. So what would happen if a black hole, let's say one with a mass of 100 billion tons, happened to hit you? Well, incredibly, the answer, according to physicist Robert Shear of Vanderbilt University, is not much.
Okay.
Do you like that buildup?
Yep.
Due to the immense density of black holes, one with a mass of 100 billion tons actually be tiny, be the fraction of the size of a hydrogen atom. So what are we worried about? I don't know why they wrote this in a story. According to Shear, if such an object were to pass through you, you would do very little up to a point. The minimum mass of a black hole would need to be, the minimum that it would need to be to do damage to you is around 140 billion tons. But even then, it would do less damage than a bullet. And it is the shock wave as it passes through you that causes most of the damage rather than the black hole itself. A black hole would need to be at least 7 trillion tons before it would spaghettify your insides. Well, that's a nice thought.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. This is where the force of the black hole's gravitational pull stretches and contracts your tissues. Somebody's thinking about that. Some scientists believe that black holes of this scale may be responsible for dark matter or the universe's missing mass that cannot be directly observed. There's no need to worry, though, as we've never heard of anyone actually suffering from a black hole-induced injury, at least not yet.
Okay.
That's a whole lot of weird story if you've ever heard of one. But
someone must have gotten a grant.
A grant, or they made up a study to get a grant.
Yep. It's all about the money.
What would happen, Mallie, if we made a black hole bullet?
I don't know, but let's apply for $1 million grant and let's figure it out.
That's right. What if we put a black hole in a bullet and shot it? Speaking of weird things the U.S. Army's looking into, a secretive PSYOP group showed up this week and released a chilling new video. And it's a U.S. Army secretive PSYOP group. The 4th Psychological Operations Group, or Airborne, has posted a strange new recruitment video on its Facebook page. Because if you're a good PSYOP group, you probably have a Facebook page. You might think that clandestine, mind-altering psychological warfare groups are a concept relegated to the days of the Cold War where the CIA worked on secretive psychic experiments. But in fact, the practice of manipulating enemies through the use of psychological tricks is still going strong. One group is operating in the U.S. military, and it's the 4th Psychological Operations Group, or Airborne, a long-running military information support operations unit based in Fort Bragg. Its goal is to psychologically influence its opponents, whether that be enemy combatants or whole countries, to degrade morale, to persuade combatants not to fight, or to inspire beneficial uprisings. They sound like a fun bunch, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, in an unexpected move, the group has published a curious and somewhat disturbing new video that appears to be aimed at driving recruitment. There's another force applied in combat that we generally don't think of as a weapon of war, the narrator states. That weapon is words. We are everywhere. Yeah, isn't that funny?
That just sounds funny.
Yeah. We are everywhere. Words are our weapon.
Yeah.
What's the old saying, Mel? We are rubber, you are glue. Whatever we say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
Sticks to you, yeah.
That's not much of a recruitment video, is it? The video features a number of clips, including historical military footage, old cartoons, and a montage of sequences indicating some of the activities that the group gets up to. Old cartoons? Boy, these guys are doing it up.
Mm-hmm.
It serves as a chilling take on the clandestine nature of these operations and should certainly prove compelling to any young people considering joining the military.
Mm.
Maybe not so much. Tell you what, there's a video supposedly attached to this, although I don't see where it is. It's probably part of the PSYOP, but I'll attach it to the description of the show so you can check it out for yourself. All right, with that, we're going to take our break. When we come back, we're going to meet the robot that set a new world walking record. And boy, is his feet tired from running through my mind all day. I'm so stupid. The world's smartest man knows the truth about death.
Okay.
We'll tell you that story when we come back. Also, when we come back, we will examine why JFK's assassination still fuels some of America's biggest conspiracy theories. It's been 62 years.
Wow.
Allie, 62 years. Why are we still talking about JFK? We'll talk about that when we come back. We'll also talk Jim Morrison, which was right around that same time. There's an interesting story about Jim Morrison that was published in the Entertainment Weekly magazine this week about how a little house on the Prairie star helped Jim Morrison flee from police and how he trusted this star at one of the worst times in his life. It's a very interesting sidebar we'll do today, which I think is incredibly fascinating. Scientists sequenced genome of the elusive vampire squid from hell. I'll tell you where you can catch one of these and make calamari out of it. Because if it exists, we can probably make it into food. And your palate cleanser for today, of course, it's kind of cute, but it's also kind of nuts.
Mm-hmm.
We'll tell you about it when we come back. All right. Supernatural news and Parashare. If you have a Parashare story for us, of course, you can do it one of three ways. You can send us a good old-fashioned email. You can go to the website, darknessradioshow.com, click on the blue button, send us a voice note. You got 2 minutes to do so. Or if you have a studio like the one you see me sitting in, not my studio, because I'll arrest you, darn it.
Yeah, stalking.
That's right, stalker, stalkerazzi. But, you know, your own home studio like this, send us a video or make a video on your phone. Send it to us and tell us your true paranormal story. We'll air it right here on the show. All right, when we come back. Oh, by the way, we also have a bad baby Jesus story. And I'm not talking about a rapper. Bad baby Jesus, a kind of nuts story at the end. And of course, we'll talk Jim Morrison and much, much more. It's your friends Tim and Mallie right here on Supernatural News and Parashare on a Wednesday, right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Wednesday. Tim Dennis and Mallie Fox with you. It is Supernatural News and Parashare. Guess what, Mel?
What?
It's that time again. It's time for AI News. So if I told you, Mel, that if you teach a man to walk, he'll be able to go to the store and back. But if you teach a robot to walk, he can go to the store for you. Would that mean anything? Probably not.
Yeah. I did go to a restaurant where a robot brought our food out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it a big thrill or was it just
Oh, it was kind of neat at first.
Did he put his little robot digit in your food?
No, that's gross.
Because you don't know where his little robot digit's been.
That's gross.
Oh,
Ew.
You gotta ask the questions, right? I mean, can you imagine these guys putting their little robot digits in your food?
That's just scary looking.
It is.
That looks like it's not even real, like that photo.
I know, but they are.
I know it looks like it's not.
These are the picture I showed you were the first humanoid robots designed for housekeeping.
It's just not right.
One robot just walked its way into history. I don't know if you have heard of the Chinese robotics company Agabot,
Nope.
but they have set a new world record for the longest distance walked by a humanoid robot with their bipedal automaton named A2. I don't know what happened to A1. We don't ask questions about it.
Hmm.
From November 10th through the 13th, that's right, it went walking for 3 days. A2 walked 66.04 miles from Jinji Lake in Suzhou, China, to the North Bund area in Shanghai, according to the Guinness and Agabot. The journey is equivalent to over 2.5 full marathons.
Wow.
And nobody stole it. I mean,
I
nobody
know, right?
drove up and just put the robot in their van and then drove off. First thing I'd do.
Yeah. If it went through the hood, probably.
Yeah.
Like outside Chicago or Detroit or whatever.
Mighty hood of Shangzhou. Yeah.
Yeah.
The quote here from Agabot's YouTube page is, it traversed complex routes, including urban areas, national highways, and bridges, overcoming challenges like day-night alteration and low-light environments, running continuously without shutdown, according to Agabot's YouTube page. The droid, these are not the droids you're looking for. All they do is walk, evidently, is over 5 feet tall and weighs over 150 pounds. It's pretty big. Pretty big droid. Agabot A2 delivers a highly natural and comfortable human-robot interaction experience, making it ideal for roles such as marketing and customer service. So it's how to take your job. Hey, Dr. Jeebs! Jeebs! Also, it's good at exhibition hall presentations. Oh, it's really taking our jobs. Supermarket guidance in case you need help finding the produce section. Front desk reception. How would you like to be greeted by that thing when you walk into the doctor's office? And business inquiries, Agabot's website reads. Moreover, A2 can have real conversations in multiple languages powered by AI that can help with work tasks, per Agabot. Videos of A2 shows the robot blinking and winking with an LED-powered face display. The robots get coffees for humans and play and dance in a band called the We Will Crush Your Skull Band, which is kind of catchy. I don't know if you've heard them before, Mel, but they're fun.
You were frozen again.
Yeah, we're back. Let's see here. Level 3. A2 said at the end of its historic walk, this is from the robot directly, I look forward to taking on more challenges in the future. See you next time.
Hopefully not.
Its next challenge, crushing your skull as it's walking. That'll be fun. Yeah. Agabot was founded in 2023 to build general purpose embodied robots with AI. Per the company website, Agabot did not immediately respond to a request for comment from ABC News, but if they did, it'd probably be canned. There you go. All right. Next. Now, we always joke on this program about AI-powered sex bots.
Right.
But if the joke were coming from an AI-powered sex bot, would it make you feel better? No? Is that a no? It turns out, Mallie, that an AI-powered sex robot with a sense of humor, and it has a sense of humor that can make you laugh more than a human. They're out now and they're available. Sex bot's so good it'll make you laugh your heart on away. I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Manufacturers from UK-based Cloud Climax, yes, that's the name of the manufacturer, say that the sex robot called Emma can hold realistic conversations, and it's powered by a Chinese technology, Dubao AI. A new sex bot installed with its own AI-generated sense of humor has hit the shelves, and its manufacturers claim it can make you laugh more than humans do. Oh, I don't know. It hasn't hung out on my side of town. Just do a little people watching on my side of town.
Uh-huh.
I'll challenge that. Emma costs right around 4,220 pounds and is powered by Chinese AI engine that uses a database of cultural references, emotional cues, and speech patterns. That itself sounds creepy. Manufacturers claim the technology, Dubao AI, equips Emma with its own sense of humor that will improve through training. So it has to do comedic classes, maybe some improv. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It also means that it can hold conversations that are more realistic, more adaptable, and more appealing to a global audience. It definitely needs training.
Yep.
The spokesperson for Cloud Climax, an online UK-based sex doll store, said Emma's sense of humor and empathy comes from the Dubao AI engine, which drives her conversational abilities. It's trained on large data sets that include cultural references, emotional cues, and natural speech patterns. This lets Emma do more than just process language. She can respond in ways that feel genuine, empathetic, and even funny at times. Well, that's the time you want her to be funny.
It's during sex.
Yes. Perfect time. Really? Hammer? That looks more like I don't know, like a little tack hammer to me. While it's not flawless, the AI keeps learning and improving with every interaction. The spokesperson added, robots aren't here to replace human connection, but they can enhance it. When it comes to humor, AI can adapt jokes to someone's taste and remember context over time, which sometimes means it can make people laugh more reliably than humans. Can you imagine if you loaded up this sex bot Emma with the entire Eddie Murphy catalog, stand-up catalog?
The little bit about I got ice cream.
Yeah, and then the
Remember?
whole ice cream deal. Yeah. Can't afford it. You
Heard
can't
it.
afford it. And then it closes.
You're on welfare.
Yeah. It closes its legs. Can't afford it. Or you get down and it goes, Hercules, Hercules.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
With empathy, AI companions can offer comfort through presence, active listening, and thoughtful responses. The aim isn't to take the place of loved ones and therapists. I can just see this thing tearing down your ego so quickly.
Yep.
But to provide accessible companionship and an extra layer of emotional support. Customers can pick from a range of different heads and body shapes with eerily realistic hair. Oh, fun. The dolls are made from silicone that give a softer, lifelike feel, and potential owners can pick from a range of silicone heads that turn, blink, and speak. Here, boy.
Yeah.
The spokesperson added our body shapes and facial designs are created in-house by a team of sculptors and industrial designers. Well, that's just creepy. Instead of copying any one person, they draw inspiration from global aesthetics and customer feedback. Each design goes through several stages, from digital marketing to clay sculpting to fiberglass molding to strike the right balance between realism and broad appeal. That's no way to talk about her. I mean, broad appeal. See, that's the bad joke you'll get from AI, I'm sure. So get used to it, kids. It's as much an artistic process as a technical one, with the goal of creating human-like forms that feel relatable without directly replicating real people, as they shouldn't. Although, if you had to replicate one in the image of somebody, Mal, who would you replicate in the image of?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about it.
Don't get enthusiastic or too enthusiastic over the assignment. I mean, it's
I don't know. I don't know. What about you?
Janet.
The whole
did I?
you didn't even have time to take a breath.
I did. No, did I answer that too fast? Janet Jackson or Halle Berry? I mean, do I have a type? I'm sorry.
Well, for like the longest time, it was Ryan Reynolds, but I heard he's a douche, so I don't know anymore.
No, yeah, you're hearing more and more stories about him.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't really have one. I've been let down.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Would you like to know how much the world's most expensive sex robot is? The one that will serve you coffee and speak 4 languages?
Oh, it's probably the cost of a car.
You're right.
Jesus. How much is it?
64,700 pounds.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. The doll can hold context-aware conversations using Chat GPT and allows it to learn from past chats and adapt to future ones. It also
I'll
comes.
just talk to myself.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm more entertaining than it is.
Exactly. I make myself laugh.
It also
It's
comes with.
free.
It's true, and it's free. It also comes with robotic facial expressions and hands that move, conveying expression. So it can talk with its hands.
You look funny. It can talk with its
It can
hands.
talk with its hands. Hey, look at me. I am talking with my hand. What the heck? Would you like a McRib? That would be incredibly awkward. Oh, and it says here, and incredibly, but I will say, and increepily, it has
Yes.
micro cameras planted in its eyes to recognize and track people. Try and sleep tonight knowing that.
Yeah.
But it could look like Ryan Reynolds. So
No, I know. No longer.
no longer.
No, it's sad.
That is sad.
Yeah. I gotta find a new one.
Yeah. You don't have a backup lined up in the chamber there.
No, because for so long it was him until probably like the last year.
Hmm.
And then I just haven't really thought about it.
Was it the lawsuit that threw you off?
Well, that added to it. But just like even before the lawsuit, just kind of just little stories here and there,
Yeah.
little whispers,
Little whispers.
little whispers.
Like a follow-up album by Wham.
Yeah.
By the way, do you want to get in on the game from the palate cleanser from yesterday?
Sure.
Whamageddon. Have you heard of the game?
No.
No? All right. I'll go through the rules real quick. The game yesterday, I sprung this on Jess yesterday. I'll spring it on you today. From the palate cleanser of yesterday, this is how this works. For some reason, I think
I don't have to like come up with an answer right now, do I? I don't do well with being put on the spot. As you can tell, because you just told me about a robot and I was like,
No, I will not talk with my hands while I do this. No, Whamageddon is real simple.
Okay.
The game technically started on December 1st, although we will start it with you today.
Okay.
So what happens with Whamageddon is there's only a few simple rules. You know the song by Wham, Last Christmas, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. The rules are simple. Why am I and every time I try to describe the rules of this game, I sound like Barack Obama. The rules are simple. With Whamageddon, you simply have to stay away from Last Christmas, which means the minute you hear it, you tap out. So you just have to stay away from Wham's version of Last Christmas.
Okay.
Now, if you can hear a cover version of it or somebody else's version of Last Christmas, that's fine. But you can't hear Wham's version of Last Christmas from now until midnight of December 24th.
Okay.
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 So that, let me plug my iPad back in real quick.
Well, I didn't hear it at all yesterday, so
Well, good. You're one day up. See? Hold on just one second here.
okie doke.
Just one second here. So you're one day up. You're already, woo. I,
You
there.
you zoomed in. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello,
Your
everybody.
your head's the size of the screen.
Yeah, it zoomed out.
There we
Holy
go.
hell. This is smart zoom. Um, I got big. Um, that's what she said. Uh, so that's the first rule of Whamageddon. So
Okay.
the minute you hear Last Christmas, you have to, and here's the other thing. Once you hear it, you have to go on your social media and you have to put hashtag Whamageddon,
Okay.
which means you got.
Okay.
You have to let everybody know. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. Don't be a dick. You can't send Last Christmas or
Oh,
other people in the game or other people, period. So you can't send the song to somebody in hopes that you get them got.
okay. So no Rick rolling.
No Rickroll. Right.
Okay.
It has to happen naturally in the wild. So
Gotcha.
if you just happen to hear it on the radio or you just happen upon it somehow, then you got. So if you just
Okay.
happen to recognize it, boom, you got. Okay.
Okay. So once I hear it, I got to change the channel or turn it off, and then I have to do hashtag
No, if you
Whamageddon.
if you hear it, boom, you're out.
Oh, oh, I'm out.
Yeah, you're out. You're done.
Gotcha. Oh, I thought I just had to keep turning it off. Oh,
No,
gotcha.
the minute you hear it, you're out.
Oh,
That's what makes the game so difficult.
gotcha. Well, damn.
Yeah.
That's like on every holiday playlist.
No, so you got to kind of stay away.
Ah, okay.
Now,
Okay.
once you've been Whamageddoned, you can
Right.
enjoy Last Christmas as much as you like.
Okay.
But
Okay.
all right,
All right.
hoping to make it a thing this year. Whamageddon.
How do you spell Whamageddon?
Whamageddon. Whamageddon. I didn't know there'd be a spelling bee today, but
Oh, I have no idea how to spell.
that's all right.
Okay. Cool. All right.
There you go. Wham!
It's on.
It's on. We gotta get Travis involved somehow.
Okay.
Although Travis doesn't seem like the Whamageddon type to me, does he? To you?
No. I mean, I can see him playing the game, but he doesn't, I can't see him like listening to Christmas music.
Can't see him listening to Last Christmas.
Yeah, but see, I could see him getting fooled though because it's on every playlist.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Like it's always like when you just put on, like
Yeah.
even on Spotify or whatever, it's always in there.
Right. Right. Well, all right. Well, you know what? I'll shoot him a note.
Okay.
I'll just say, you know what? Whamageddon. I'll shoot him
Okay.
I'll shoot him the meme of Whamageddon. Or I'll retweet him and I'll just say, hey, you're in. And he'll
Okay.
probably be like, what's a wham? He probably doesn't even know. But
I love George Michael.
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Didn't he die around Christmas?
I think he did. I think that's why this is a thing. Not only the song Last Christmas, but George Michael did die around Christmas. I think you're right, Mel.
Hmm.
You know what? Let's look it up real quick. George Michael death date. Boy, we are just morbid today, aren't we? December 25th, 2016.
Damn.
Look at you, Mel. You are on top of it today, my friend. Boy, that next year will be 10 years.
Dang.
It's 9 years this Christmas.
Hmm.
So literally, last Christmas he gave us his heart, and his brain, and some other organs if we wanted them. I know that's morbid, but yeah, that's how it works. Oh, rest in peace, George.
Yes.
All right. So, Whamageddon. And
Okay.
like I said yesterday, you guys play along with us on social media. Hashtag Whamageddon. If you hear it, you're playing along with us. So, but you got to be honest. If you hear it, boom, you're out.
All right.
All right. All right. Our next story, we're going to switch gears here, involves the world's smartest man. And he knows the chilling truth about what happens after death. Now, Chris Langan says he has an IQ between 190 and 210. I don't know how you don't know that number exactly.
Right. He's
Most
just
people,
a bragger.
yeah, I know. Most people take the test and they say, my IQ is 217 or whatever. I don't know. But he has claimed that death may not be the end and that we shouldn't be afraid of what comes next. Let's find out how Christopher Langan knows. The smartest man in the world has revealed what he thinks occurs after we die. Chris Langan, who claims he possesses an IQ ranging from 190 to 210, surpasses figures like Albert Einstein or Stephen Hawking, and he reckons that death might not mark the end. He also insists that we shouldn't fear what lies ahead. Langan, a cattle farmer from right here in America, is renowned for his cognitive theoretic model of the universe philosophy, which proposes that reality constitutes a self-simulation. He maintains that his CTMU, which he characterizes as a form of mathematical metaphysics, can demonstrate the existence of God, the soul, and an afterlife using mathematics. The theory comes amid a growing number of testimonies from people who have had near-death experiences. The CTMU proposes reality functions from, or rather, as a self-configuring, self-processing language. And Langan says that death could represent a transformation in the syntax of existence. This essentially indicates death would resemble transitioning into another realm, something that has been compared to an afterlife. On the Theories of Everything podcast with Kurt Jaimungal and Langan portrayed death as simply abandoning your body rather than vanishing entirely. He explained that's the termination of your relationship with your particular physical body that you have at this present time. When you are retracted from this reality, you go back up toward the origin of reality. You can be provided with a substitute body, another kind of terminal body that allows you to keep on existing. Boy, that's a choice I've never heard about before. Mm-hmm. Langan, upon shifting to this alternate dimension, suggests that one might not even recall the previous physical existence, comparing it to a meditative state. He elaborated, your memories can always be pulled back out, but there's no reason to do that usually, okay? Why cling to memories of a world which you are no longer instantiated? So there are certain automatic psychological things that happen on death at the moment of death. He added, now you're basically meditating, seeing everything change. However, you exist that way right now. Arguably, all of your lifetimes, if you were to be reincarnated again and again and again, all of those reincarnations are meta-simultaneous. There is a sense in which they occur once in the non-terminal domain. Langan likes the process of dying to entering a supercomputer where you're surrounded by everything but not at the same time. And he explains that this can happen simultaneously. The theorist, who asserts his theories are supported by mathematics, also believes it demonstrates that the existence of God in a way, but what we are naming is something unidentifiable. He suggests this implies God is the identity of certain things that we observe around us rather than a being residing in heaven. Langan, under the pseudonym of Eric Hart, was previously listed among the people with the highest IQs in the Guinness Book of World Records before the section was removed. So, Mallie, I'll throw this at you. Do you think mathematically we go to a mathematical heaven? If so, am I going to be able to get any of these computations right?
No.
I didn't think so. That was horrible at math.
Hey, I said 4 years from now for that last thing about the guy getting $1,000. So, because I was already pushing us into 2026
Yeah.
when we were talking about,
Yeah.
2030. So,
Well, yeah, I don't blame you. No. I think if it comes to a mathematical afterlife, I'm probably going to English hell because yeah,
yeah, I
math
don't
wants
think,
no part of me.
yeah, I think that guy is wrong. I think his IQ is messing him up.
He's thinking too hard about this.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Um, there's
He
one
needs to
rule.
stick to cattling or whatever you
Cattling,
call
yeah,
it.
cattle calling.
Yeah, ranching.
That's an old country song. The old cattle call. You know where they go. Remember that?
Oh,
Remember the old cattle call?
no,
I'm probably the only one who's listening to this podcast right now that remembers that.
probably.
Remember the cattle call?
I like how you keep asking me. Its answer still no.
Please, Mallie, please remember the cattle call.
Okay, yes, I do remember.
Gee, who did? I don't remember the name of the. Was it Slim Whitman who did the cattle call? I think it was Slim Whitman who did the
Hmm.
cattle call. Cattle call lyrics. No, it was Eddie Arnold. I'm calling out a bunch of
Old,
old
old.
artists that nobody knows.
Yeah.
Slim Whitman, Eddie Arnold. Right now, people are listening to this podcast and going, "What in the actual fuck are you?"
Yeah. What does this have to do with paranormal?
Right. Well, they're both dead. That's
Well,
what,
that's true.
uh,
True. We should try and conjure them up and go, hey,
yeah.
life after death.
Are you stuck in a mathematical heaven right now?
Yes.
So we want
Yeah.
to know. And if so, give us the cattle call.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, and they even have the lyrics as woo ooh ooh doo dee dee woo ooh ooh whoop doo doo woo ooh 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 yodel 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 lee.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the lyrics. Look them up. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay. Thank you.
Might sprain something.
Ah.
Yeah, might happen. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. Our next story. You know, there's one rule here, Mal. When you go into a haunted hospital or a haunted location or an
Uh-huh.
abandoned hospital, when you're an urban explorer, you never do what? If you enter, you never, when you go home, you never what? If you go in,
Yeah, I like your finger. I'm like, what? When you go to an abandoned area and you come back, or you go back home,
yep,
well, first of all, you don't leave evidence because you're not supposed to be there for trespassing.
that's part
So
of yeah,
don't
okay,
record
that's
it.
part of it.
And don't record it and put it on YouTube
Okay, that's okay, okay, that's
because
part
then
of
you
it
get in
too.
trouble for trespassing.
There's one very simple thing. You never want to do what? You never want to
I have no idea what you're trying to do.
bruh, bruh.
I have no idea what you're trying. What?
Never want to take anything home with you, right?
Well, correct. Oh, you mean things from the site?
There,
Objects? Okay.
yeah.
Well, I was focusing on hospital, so I'm trying to think like what would I take? Okay. You just meant from anywhere.
Well, in particular, an abandoned hospital.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Correct.
right. Well, there's one urban explorer out there who broke the rules and took one thing home from an abandoned hospital recently.
Okay.
Let's tell you what it was. And it might have been for a good cause. And you know what? I can see why. I I can forgive him for this.
Was it someone's medical records?
What's even better?
Oh.
Fans of exploring abandoned buildings, also known as urban exploration, know the rule: take nothing but photos and leave nothing but footprints. One person broke this rule and was widely praised. Now, the reason I read this story is because this could apply to ghost hunting as well, right?
Hmm.
Fans of exploring abandoned buildings, known as urban exploration, know there are a number of rules that they should always follow. Among these, as reported by HuffPost, are to always go in groups of 2 or more, never to get inside an abandoned building by damaging a wall, door, or window, and take nothing but photos and leave nothing but footprints. But one person broke one key rule by taking something they found in an abandoned hospital home and was widely praised by fellow urban explorers. The user posted a series of images of the abandoned hospital showing walls and doors covered in graffiti, empty medication packages, and boxes of videotapes of 1986 comedy drama She's Gotta Have It and 1996 sci-fi thriller Independence Day. Hard to believe those are considered old movies now. But the final 2 pictures revealed something unexpected. And here's what it was, Mallie. A small gray-brown mackerel tabby cat. Revealing that they'd taken the cat home with them, the user wrote, "I'm sorry, I just had to."
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Explaining more in the comments, they said, "My heart was weeping with joy. I saw someone find a dog on this subreddit page and wanted that so bad. With a cat, no problem. With dogs, though," it said. No problem with dogs, though. And just as I'm getting to the exit of the hospital, she follows me out and wouldn't stop either. I caved. I wrapped her in my sweater and I got an Uber. So the kitty followed out.
Oh.
Despite this being against one of the key rules of urban exploration, users were unanimous in their agreement that they had done the right thing. One commenter wrote, "Thank you for being a good human. It's becoming rarer." So the kitty wanted a place to stay. Another user wrote, "Sometimes doing the right thing feels wrong. This time it must feel good." And someone else wrote, "I feel like this is one time where it's okay to break the rule." A different user said, "Nah, you didn't break any rules. The cat took you home. It's fine." Another said, "That's not something, that's someone. No rules have been broken here." Someone else wrote, "Cats are fair game. Getting an evil one is already 50-50. And another said, "Technically, you wouldn't break the rule. The cat needs a home." But, but yeah. So there you go. So, yeah, sometimes it's okay to take something home, especially if it's a kitty or a puppy that, especially if they're being left behind in an abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they need a home. Then, yeah. But make sure you get the shots. Right?
The shots as in like cat shots?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you
or shots as in camera shots for the
I'm talking about
animals?
for the animal,
Oh,
sure they have their
yes.
shots. Yeah. You got to get them their shots. So, yeah. All right. We're going to talk conspiracy theory here, Mel. Just real quick.
Okay.
We want to talk JFK real quick. 62 years ago, JFK's assassination in Dallas, still fueling some of America's biggest conspiracy theories. Now, more than 6 decades after those fateful shots rang out in Dallas in 1963, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy remains one of America's most disputed and discussed crimes. Now, Kennedy's murder, which took place in broad daylight before thousands of people, stunned the country and ignited decades of conspiracies and scrutiny. Investigators quickly arrested former Marine Lee Harvey Oswald as the suspected killer, but tangles of theories have kept the case alive in the public imagination ever since. There is a new special out by ABC News Studios called Truth and Lies, Who Killed JFK. It's already out and available on Disney Plus and Hulu, which examines this assassination, which you're encouraged to go watch. It's part of this article. On November 22nd, 1963, at 11:42 a.m., Kennedy arrived in Dallas when Air Force One touched down at Love Field, beginning a sequence of events that the U.S. will never forget. He brings along Jacqueline Kennedy. CNN presidential historian Tim Naftali tells ABC News Studio he wants her obviously sitting next to him in a motorcade, and he wants the top off so that everybody can see her as well as him. Naftali recalled how Kennedy was riding through Dealey Plaza in Dallas in a presidential motorcade alongside Texas Governor John Connally, his wife Nellie, and the First Lady. 2 shots then struck the president from above. One hit Kennedy in the back of the neck. One hit him in the side of the head, according to the National Archives. Kennedy was then rushed to Parkland Hospital in the motorcade and by 1 p.m. was declared dead. Police soon arrested the 24-year-old Oswald for the assassination, with authorities later learning that he spent time in the Soviet Union and had previously applied for citizenship there. 2 days after the Kennedy assassination, on November 24th, 1963, Oswald was shot and killed as he was being moved from the Dallas police headquarters, that according to the Library of Congress. However, most of the evidence surrounding Kennedy's assassination was not released until much later. Speaking with ABC News Studios, director Oliver Stone highlighted the problem created by the delay. People wanted to get to the truth. They were angry because they were given a bunch of lies, and they knew that at the time, he said. Stone co-wrote and helmed the 1991 movie JFK, which was a fictional telling of the fictional retelling of the assassination, focusing on the story of New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison's investigation. The movie and the significant public interest that followed led in part to Congress passing the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act in 1992. Then this year, President Donald Trump signed an executive order directing the release of the remaining records related to the assassination, saying it was in the public interest to do so. The National Archives in March released thousands of pages of declassified records related to the assassination. Kennedy biographer Barbara Perry told ABC News Studios that she believes that the U.S. government is withholding evidence, and it led to widespread distrust of the federal government. The fact that the government didn't release material until many years later regarding the Kennedy assassination only led to more conspiracy theories and the beginning of the people of the United States believing that the government was lying to us, Perry said. And that then gets picked up in the very contemporary era of the concept of fake news and the deep state, she added. Now, there have been reasons cited why this information's been held onto for so long by the government. Among those things, there are still people alive to this day, or have been alive to this day, that are involved that needed their identities protected for top secret reasons, including certain spies. I don't know, Mallie, what do you think? Do you think that this information should have been released sooner? Do you think it was wise to hold it till now? What do you think?
I think it could have been released sooner. I think it would have stopped some of the conspiracies, maybe.
Yeah.
So
there is a rumor that one of the files that is still out there, and I'm curious to see whether this is going to be released or not, if it's even a file, because again, we don't know if this is an actual file or not. One of the files is so damning and damaging, and it has to do with a double cross.
Oh.
It's a deal that the U.S. made to and it has to do with the Bay of Pigs invasion.
Okay.
But basically, it was a double cross that would have left, I believe, a couple of France's spies to hang out to dry inside Cuba, and also a couple of English spies. And that if our allies knew, and I think these spies were unalived that way in the line of duty. And if they knew that we did that, and it had to do with the deal that we made with Mexico. And if they found out that we did that in the pursuit of Castro,
yeah,
that it would damage our relations even to this day.
Oh.
And so there are certain documents that are related to that we are keeping back so that we don't damage that relationship. Now, with that being said, does that change your opinion?
Yes. that does change my opinion.
See, I think there are still, I think if people know things like that, it changes the way people think about some of these documents.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still some stuff that should never be shown to the public, because we didn't always operate with the most discretion or candor, when it came to overseas operations, because we did what we thought was pertinent at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to keep America free or keep democracy going, by any means necessary, right? Was what the motto was. And so some things that might have been morally or ethically questionable were done. And so, but they were also documented.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, if it was off the books, but they were documented. So I think at that point, you have to decide whether the American public needs to know. Is it really that important that we need to know if it's going to damage relations with a good ally, right?
Did you ever see the documentary? I think it was like Octopus. Is it Octopus Murders? Octopus Tapes? I think it was Octopus Murders, where the guy said, um, he shows this film where I mean, it's conspiracy, but he says that it was the driver turns around and shoots Kennedy.
Yes, I have seen that. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know if I believe that or not.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
But
Octopus
it's
something. I think it's Octopus Murders.
it's it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because of angles and things like that. It's a possibility. Yeah. But then I think we have to, I've also seen other specials where they make the case of Oswald being able to get off every single shot,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they show you the exact distance between the book depository where Oswald stood and being able to get off those exact amount of shots. And they had a sharpshooter and a marksman do it
Uh-huh.
on camera. And they showed everybody it can be done. And it could be done from that angle. And they showed you exactly how with forensics. They could do that. They could recreate the
Mm-hmm.
assassination. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Um I again, I'm up in the air. I love here's where I draw that line. I can hear about the theories and I can put it down and walk away.
Yeah.
And I don't get consumed by it. I,
Right.
I can go live my life.
Right.
There are a lot of people who can't do that.
Yeah.
There are people who walk or wade into it and they get lost. And the thing between being a conspiracy theory enthusiast and a conspiracy theory nut is an enthusiast can hear the scenario and go, interesting,
Uh-huh.
and walk away, right? And go,
Yep.
I can go watch another documentary on it and kind of mull it around and kick it around and, go live my life. A nut will follow it till the ends of the earth and will live it
Mm-hmm.
and be consumed by it. One is a passing fancy. The other is a danger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's up to you to decide which one is which.
Right.
Okay. We have a Parashare today. And this one comes from Kate. It has to do with a haunted candy store.
Ooh.
Yeah. This one says, for 8 years, I worked at a high-end candy shop. Over those years, my coworkers and I had a variety of experiences, from doors slamming to things being thrown to sections of lights randomly not working. During my time at the candy shop, I worked my way from sales associate to manager. And during that time, I had several managers I worked under, one of which was greatly disliked and told us that the random rattling and clicking we'd hear from the bins that we had our bulk candy in was all in our imaginations and not a ghost. We greatly disagreed with her and dubbed the entity Gobstone, but we called him Gobber for short. He lives to play with the scales that we weigh the candy on, making them randomly read anywhere from 2,657 pounds to negative, I'm sorry, not 2,000, 2.657 pounds to negative 3.826 pounds. I should know that because I worked in a candy store for a small amount of time. As soon as we would say, Gobber, knock it off, the scales would go back to zero so we could properly weigh the candy. That's interesting, right? We also had a section of lighting that did not work the entire time she was manager, despite having multiple electricians come out to check the wiring and changing the light bulbs. When we reopened the store during the COVID lockdown and it was revealed that said manager was not returning, the section of lights came on along with all the other lights when we hit the light switches. In the following years, anytime we said the former manager's name when referring to her, she had a common name. We'd have things get thrown at us from candy bin lids to a gift set of Pez dispensers. Ghost had taste. The store was closed and we were doing end of day cleaning procedures when the bin lid was thrown and the Pez set was on the top shelf and thrown 4 feet at one of my employees. So not possible for any of the kids that were in the store at the time. We had the door to the stockroom randomly slammed shut with the sound of a shotgun. When the store was empty of the customers, the AC was not working at the time and the store is located inside the mall. So no wind gusts. I forget if it was a special summer display or a Halloween display, but we had a display featuring bizarre sodas, monsters, and outer space themed candies. And one of the sodas, called Alien Snot, it's actually not bad, got randomly thrown across the store with the cap coming off and landing in front of the registers and the glass bottle coming to rest unbroken at the entrance to the store in front of 2 security guards doing their rounds. The 2 security guards call out, "What the heck, Kate?" To their shock, I respond, "I have no idea. It wasn't me." From the register, which was a distance from the display the bottle had been on, and the rest of the customers who were present at the time were staring wide-eyed from the back of the store. No one had been close enough to bump the table, much less open the glass bottle and toss it and the cap in opposite directions. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and enjoyed the stories of the haunted candy shop. And that's from Kate.
How awful of a person do you have to be that a ghost hates you as well?
Right. Yeah. I think it's a pretty cool tale. Although, again, how evil do you have to be that you haunt a candy shop? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, candy disappearing. Oh, the ghost moved it. The ghost
Yeah.
took it.
Just hear phantom crunching in the background.
Yeah, exactly. You come, you come out from the back, you got chocolate around your mouth. I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah, I worked at a candy store in the Mall of America.
Oh, which one?
I don't know that I should say the name on here.
Oh, never mind then.
But yeah, I worked for a small time there, or small amount of time there. It was shortly before I left the mall. I still have a good relationship with the owner.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was also offered a job at their store in Hawaii,
Oh,
which I ended up turning down because I found out how expensive it was to live in Hawaii.
it's very expensive. I lived there. I lived in Hawaii. What year would have been there?
They wanted me to live there. It would have been 1999.
Ah, we would have just missed each other.
Really?
Yep, I was there from. Wait, was I there in 99? I was there in 99.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been 1999 that they would have wanted me to move out there, and I turned it down because I started looking into the cost of living and everything, and
Was it on Oahu? What island?
I'm not sure, not sure.
Oh, because I was
They
on Oahu.
they had a couple of they had a couple. I'll tell you the name off air, but they had a couple of different candy stores. They were all over the place,
Okay.
but but yeah, they wanted me to manage one of their candy stores. And they made what at the time seemed like a good offer. But then I started figuring out how much it cost to live there, and I was like, that is not a good offer. I'm not going.
Yeah, no, a lot of people there have to have like two jobs
Yeah,
in order to, yeah, or they live with like a lot of family members in one house.
yeah, yeah. So I respectfully said no, and then right after that, I got back into radio. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so yeah, didn't take long at all. So yep, I had gone from managing a comic book store to the comic book store and working at the candy shop to right back into radio. So it didn't take very long. So yeah, the whole idea was to get back into the business. So
Right, right.
yeah, didn't didn't want to spend that much time away from the old microphone, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it was a fun detour,
Uh-huh.
you know. Um, but yeah, but when I thought about it for a minute because I was like, Hawaii, that'd be kind of fun,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was like, I don't know. When they gave me the actual offer, I was expecting. I even tried to get them to bump it up a little bit, but
Uh-huh.
it's the candy store. You don't have that much overhead.
Right, right.
You don't have that much of a profit margin, so
Uh-huh.
you can't make that much money.
Right.
All right, our next story, Mel, has to do with a new poll that reveals Americans' belief in aliens, Bigfoot, Nessie, and more. The survey focused primarily on whether or not people believe that aliens had visited Earth. With the UFO phenomenon and possibly alien life being hot topics in recent years, it's perhaps not a surprise that more than half of Americans believe that aliens really do exist. The results of the poll, which was conducted by YouGov, indicated that 56% believe that aliens exist, while around 47% believe that we've already been visited by extraterrestrials. Around 30%, meanwhile, believe that UFOs are most likely to be alien in origin. In addition, 35% believe that we will make formal contact with aliens by the year 2035. As for the consequences of such contact, around twice as many Americans believe that it will have a negative rather than a positive impact on humanity, 14% to 29% respectively. A whopping 74% maintain that if we did happen to encounter aliens, they would be more technologically advanced than us, while 66% believe they'd want to stay hidden from humans. 55% even think that aliens might want to spread diseases to the human race.
Mm.
So, alien herpes is in the
Yeah.
chat. No.
Yeah. Is there a cure for that?
It's just
It's
no.
just a shot, a
Yeah,
cream.
it's actually like chapstick. You just
Yeah.
the poll also looked at what other enigmas people believe in as well, with 28% believing in Bigfoot, 23% in the Yeti, 22% in Loch Ness Monster. Wait, aren't Bigfoot and Yeti the same thing?
I thought so. Or is Yeti more snow?
It
No,
might,
that's I don't know.
I don't know. Uh, 22% in Loch Ness Monster, 16% in the Chupacabra. So there you go. Okay. I told you Bad Bad Baby Jesus was coming up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's a forbidden book that was omitted from the Bible and reveals a vengeful child Jesus and exposes why it was kept hidden. A long forgotten book left out of the Bible and written nearly 1900 years ago reveals secret stories of Jesus's childhood that the early church kept under wraps for centuries, known as the Infancy Gospel of Thomas. The text tells of Jesus performing miraculous feats, bringing clay birds to life, drawing water from a broken pitcher, and healing a boy whose leg was injured by an axe. Well, that doesn't sound so bad, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's more. It also portrays a darker side, depicting Jesus as vengeful, even cursing a child to death for striking him on the shoulder.
Oh.
Jesus had a little mean streak. After Jesus kills the child for accidentally bumping into him, that's right. The villagers,
diva.
yeah, Jesus has had a little temper. The villagers become upset and complain to Joseph and Mary. In response to their accusations, Jesus strikes the accusers with blindness. He needed to go to his room.
Mm-hmm.
Right, without supper. The omitted book begins when Jesus is just 5 years old, while the traditional Bible's first mention of him is at 12 years old. So they kind of didn't even, they're kind of like, oh, we don't know nothing about no Jesus until about 12.
Yeah. Jesus who?
Yeah. Jesus what?
Yeah.
In another episode, Joseph takes Jesus to a teacher to learn the alphabet, and the teacher becomes irritated when Jesus laughs at his instructions. So he's like, "You're trying to teach the Savior what now?"
Did you watch Stranger Things yet? The last one?
No.
There's a kid there, and his nickname is Dipshit Derek, and he's a little shit like that.
Oh yeah.
He laughs at people, and he's flipping the bird and all that stuff.
Oh, so modeled after Jesus. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
How fun. Okay, so the infancy gospel of Thomas was rejected, believe it or not, by the early church because it had portrayed Jesus as a violent, petulant child and conflicted with Orthodox Christian teachings. Now, its late composition date and association was to deem it inauthentic and heretical. Oh, but wait till you see the picture. Aw, take a look at this kid. Tell me you wouldn't put up with attitude from that kid. Huh?
Look at those cheeks.
Yeah, look at those cheeks. Yeah, well, I'll take attitude from little baby Jesus.
Yeah, but he's going to strike you blind.
Well, that's if you give him two. If you don't give him two, you're fine, right?
Yeah, just don't tap him on the shoulder. He's going to kill you.
Right. Well, there's that. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John have long been accepted by the church as accurate accounts of Jesus's life and teachings, written either by apostles or those close connected to him. Matthew and John were original disciples. Mark drew from Peter's teaching, and Luke partnered with Paul while also interviewing eyewitnesses. By contrast, the infancy gospel of Thomas claims authorship by Thomas the Israelite, though the writer is otherwise unknown and not identified as the Apostle Thomas. This text is a collection of stories about Jesus' childhood and should not be confused with the modern Gospel of Thomas, which early references to the Gospel of Thomas almost certainly point to the infancy gospel. The passages tell stories about Jesus' first miracles, from bringing dried fish back to life, resurrecting a child who died of illness, and raising a man back from the dead after an accident. Boy, he was knocking it out of the park at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Our Savior. However, it seems that the early church leaders were more concerned about the text, which described Jesus as a violent child. In one incident, after Jesus blinds the parents of a boy he struck dead, Joseph, his earthly and adoptive father, which, by the way, he loved him very much, even though he was a bad little boy, reprimands him. When Joseph saw that Jesus had done such a thing, he got angry and grabbed his ear and pulled very hard.
Did Jesus go, "You're not my real dad"?
I think he did. Yeah, he said, my real dad runs this whole thing. I think you're right, Mallie. He probably did that. Oh, it says what he did here. The boy became Yep. The boy became infuriated with him and replied, "It's one thing for you to seek and not find. It's quite another for you to act this unwisely. Don't you know what I don't really." Oh, he did. He said, "Don't you know that I don't really belong to you? Don't make me upset." Oh, he was about to go off on stepdaddy. Would he be a stepdaddy? What would Joseph be? He'd be a well,
Well, yeah, he'd be stepfather, right? Because he's,
stepdaddy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The text describes how Joseph took Jesus to his teacher, asking the child to be taught his letters. The teacher says, "Hand him over to me, brother, and I shall teach him the scripture, and I shall persuade him to bless all and not to curse." Well, that's admirable. And Jesus, hearing, laughed and said to them, "You say what you know, but I know more than you, for I am before the ages, and I know when your fathers' fathers were born, and I know how many years of your life." Oh, damn. You know what he did there, Mal?
Uh-huh.
He basically said, "I know when you all are going to go."
Yep.
Yep. Jesus then astonished the teacher with his knowledge of the Hebrew alphabet. Amazed and unnerved, the teacher tells Joseph that the child clearly does not belong to this world and asks him to take Jesus away. See?
Mm-hmm.
In chapter 3, when the son of, I believe this is Anas, it's not Anus, I don't know that much.
I
The,
hope not. That would
yeah,
suck.
Anus the high priest, that'd give you an idea of where the Catholic priest got it from, destroys the water that Jesus had gathered on the Sabbath. Jesus curses him, declaring that his fruit will wither like a scorched branch.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, his fruit. Well, yeah, you don't want his fruit to wither. Immediately, the boy withers, showing the child Jesus's power to punish those who oppose him. The infancy gospel of Thomas also depicts the young Jesus performing numerous miracles to help others, by the way. He heals a woodcutter who accidentally chops the sole of his foot, instantly restoring him and instructing him to continue his work. When a water jug breaks while he is fetching water, Jesus fills his cloak with water and carries it back to his mother. It's unusual. He miraculously multiplies a single grain of wheat into 100 measures and distributes it to the poor, widows, and orphans. See, he's a good little kid. He's just a little shit when it comes to authority.
Yeah.
Right? Jesus even stretches a short piece of wood so Joseph, his father, can complete a carpentry job for a wealthy client. In one story, he heals his brother James from a snake bite by breathing on the wound, destroying the snake, and ending the pain. See, he went right after that snake.
Mm-hmm.
Good for the kid. On another occasion, he resurrects a child who had died, bringing the child back to life and returning him safely to his mother. See, good kid. So why is this not a gospel? Because he's too human?
Probably.
These vivid episodes show that the text portray a child Jesus who is not only powerful but also compassionate, using his extraordinary abilities to aid and protect those around him. I think it'd be a really good example. It would show that kids can be kids, but at the same time, they also have hearts of gold, but they get little tudes every once in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happens. Sometimes they're cranky.
Yeah.
And when they're little saviors, they happen to strike you blind,
Yeah, but his consequences with his little toot are extreme.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Sure, he could take out whole villages, but
Yes.
but he's compassionate. But he could tell you when you're going to die. But he's compassionate, right?
Yes.
There's that. Yeah. All right. Our next story has to do with a little house on the Prairie star that helped Jim Morrison flee from police. She says he trusted me at the worst time of his life. He came up to me and said, "I got to get out of town," recalled Charlotte Stewart, who played the wholesome teacher, Ms. Beadle, on the family drama after her whirlwind road trip with the Doors singer. I want you to try and imagine, Mallie, these two road tripping throughout the U.S.
I like how they choose that photo of
Right.
her.
Right. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I can't get the image in my head of
Mm-hmm.
you him all drugged out and her going, come on, let's go. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not going to happen. Before her breakout role on the beloved 1970s family drama Little House on the Prairie, Charlotte Stewart had a whirlwind adventure with a rock star. The actress behind Eva Beetle Sims, aka the wholesome teacher, Ms. Beetle, recently recalled hitting the road with Jim Morrison in 1969 after the Dade County Sheriff's Office issued a warrant for his arrest following his controversial show at the Dinner Key Auditorium in Miami. Stewart said that Morrison, who was charged with indecent exposure and public profanity, came to her for help when he got back to California. You have to remember this was a very serious offense in Florida, the actress told Fox News in a new interview. He was facing trial. So he came up to me and said, I got to get out of town. You want to go? And I said, sure. By the way, this is how she looks right now. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, a little bit of a change.
Yeah.
And it's been a few years. So, I mean, we're all gonna age, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how Charlotte Stewart looks now. The actress who would later star in David Lynch's Eraserhead and Twin Peaks said she set the itinerary for the drinking buddies' 4-day trip. She said, we jumped in the car and he didn't know where he wanted to go. So I directed him up Highway 1, which follows the Pacific Ocean all the way to Washington and Oregon, she recalled. We just drove, stopping at bars along the way and staying overnight at hotels and motels. Stewart documented the road trip with her Super 8 camera. Most of it was just him driving, which wasn't very interesting, she said. I was in the passenger seat. Outside the car was the Pacific Ocean practically the whole time. She continued, I took him to Hearst Castle. There are pictures of me eating a hot dog there. I bet there are. We stayed with a lot of friends I had up there. They didn't even know who he was because at the time he had a full beard and really didn't take care of it. He looked like a bum, but I introduced him to my friends and they didn't have a clue it was Jim Morrison. Morrison and Stewart eventually turned around and returned to California. We had to go back to Los Angeles, she said. He dropped me off at my store and we said goodbye. I never saw him again. The Light My Fire singer was ultimately sentenced to 6 months of hard labor for 2 misdemeanor charges.
Dang.
Yep. And then he died in Paris in 1971 at the age of 27 before he could serve any time. Morrison was later pardoned by Florida's Clemency Board in 2010. It took till 2010 to clear him. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Stewart says the fact that he trusted me at the worst time in his life when he was facing jail time, I will always cherish that. He knew he was going to have to fly back to Florida and face trial, and then he was gone. The actress said she was shocked to hear of Morrison's death. I was heartbroken, she said. A bunch of us were at a recording studio with Johnny Rivers. He was doing an album, and he wanted all of us to be singing in the background. We didn't have cell phones in those days, she said. So we didn't know what was going on in the outside world. And suddenly word got passed around the room. Did you hear? He's dead. She continued, I wasn't going to share my personal relationship with these people. I left the room, sat on the staircase, and I just cried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's that story. I just thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how the world turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Scientists sequence the genome of the elusive vampire squid from hell. Bloody calamari to come.
Yeah.
Kidding. The research looked at a seldom seen cephalopod found only in the extreme depths of the ocean. Typically found in the darkest, deepest parts of the planet's tropical oceans, the vampire squid, now known as Vampiroteuthis infernalis, is notable for its large eyes and strange bioluminescent organs. Despite its name, however, it doesn't actually suck any blood. Instead, it prefers to feed on organic detritus. It's a great name for a band, by the way. Organic detritus. Now, in a renewed effort to learn more about how this peculiar deep sea denizen originated, scientists have succeeded in sequencing its genome, which, in over 11 billion DNA based molecules, is 4 times larger than the human genome and twice as large as that of any other known cephalopod. The findings were quite intriguing, suggesting that despite the vampire squid having 8 arms like an octopus, it also shares genomic features with squids and cuttlefish. In other words, it sits somewhere between these two different lineages. The vampire squid sits right at the interface between octopuses and squids, said senior study author Oleg Simikov. Its genome reveals deep evolutionary secrets on how two strikingly different two strikingly different lineages, I have Jesus on the brain, could emerge from a shared ancestor. There's a video with the vampire squid, and I'll post it in the description of this program so you can see what exactly this thing looks like. But to give you an idea, Mallie, I'll just show you a quick shot of this thing. Take a look at that.
Okay.
Isn't that something? It's kind of creepy looking. Imagine swimming along in the ocean and all of a sudden something that looks like a cross between a vampire bat and a squid swims up to you. You just reach over and pet it real quick. It's like, it's a good little squid. You probably wouldn't do that, would you?
Nope.
I didn't think so. All right, let's see here. We've got one more story and then our palate cleanser. And it's an odd one at that. Did you know, Mallie, that psychologists report that just seeing Batman is enough to drive pro-social behaviors?
No, I did not know that.
It's an odd story to end today's supernatural news. But just seeing Batman inspires us, says psychologist, whose new research suggests that seeing the Cape Crusader increases an individual's propensity towards pro-social behaviors. The research conducted on a Milan metro train found that a sudden, unexpected interruption in our daily lives, in this case, seeing the famous DC Comics character, can break us out of the autopilot that typically governs our behavior and encourages us to pay attention to the people around us and empathize with their needs. Huh?
Exactly.
So I'm on a metro train.
Right.
I see a picture of Batman, and all of a sudden I care about whether Mallie Fox is safe or not. Really? Okay. Led by Professor Francesco Pagnini. The research was undertaken by researchers from the Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore in Milan and published in NPJ Mental Health Research. Actions that benefit those around us are called pro-social behaviors, an area that we hear much less about than antisocial opposites. In new research focused on the positive side of life, Dr. Pagnini's team investigated how surprises, such as encountering someone dressed as Batman, which would be a surprise, bring people into the moment and encourage them to consider those around them, which is an odd thing. We conducted an experimental field study in one Milan subway, Professor Pagnini explained, observing the behavior of 138 passengers. In the first part of our test, which is a control condition, an experimenter, apparently pregnant, boarded the train with an observer. The researchers say pro-social behaviors can stem from genuine altruistic empathy, egotistic guilt, or the pressures of internalized social norms. Instead of looking inward, the new work examines how external factors shift individuals towards pro-social behaviors. Now, how did the Batman Metro test go? In the control tests, the observer then noted whether passengers would get up to give their seats to pregnant women. The test then brought a second experimenter into the mix, this time dressed, of course, as the Dark Knight. So evidently Batman punishes you if you don't give up your seat to a pregnant woman. Um, this is just bizarre. Uh,
I mean, I would hope that a person would give up a seat to a pregnant woman no matter what. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean?
mm-hmm. Right. I mean, you would just hope they would do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Without having Batman having to come over and go, say, would you just give up your seat for a second?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Um, so this so this dark night comes along. The individual dressed as Batman would enter the train car from a separate door as the pregnant woman had done. The contrast between the results was stark. In the control, just 37.66% volunteered to give up their seats to the pregnant woman, while in the presence of Batman, the number doubled to almost 67.21%.
Wow.
People got guilted into giving up their seat by Batman. It's a strange, strange world.
Yep.
Intriguingly, when participants were interviewed after the experiment, 44% of those who offered their seats in the experimental rounds reported not noticing the experimenter dressed as Batman. Sure, they didn't. The results, by the way, indicate that even without being consciously aware of them, unusual events in our surroundings appear to play a role in prompting acts of kindness in public settings and at significantly increased rates. You know, I don't buy that people didn't see Batman for a second.
Exactly. It's kind of noticeable.
You don't notice this freak dressed in a costume coming at you, and there's a pregnant woman, and you're like, oh, by all means, take the seat.
Yeah.
I don't want to screw with Batman, right?
Hmm.
Come on. That's absolutely nuts. Speaking of absolutely nuts, are you ready for our palate cleanser?
Sure.
All right. I've had this happen to me at least once. So I feel for this man, although I don't. I realize where it's coming from. A man discovers that his malfunctioning car is packed full of hazelnuts.
Oh, this happened to my father-in-law twice.
Really?
Yep, full of his truck full of nuts. Yeah, anyway.
Mm-hmm. One motorist in China got the shock of his life when he was forced to take his vehicle to a local garage. The man, who hails from Jixi City in China's Heilongjiang province, had been hearing strange noises coming from his car for quite some time. It wasn't until the vehicle's heating system began to malfunction, as well as he eventually decided to drive to a garage and have a mechanic take a look at it. When the mechanic opened up the engine compartment, well, he was shocked to discover that the cause of all these issues was, in fact, a huge stash of hazelnuts. The nuts were everywhere. They were filling up all the internal spaces and even the air vents. In total, Mallie, it took 2 hours to completely remove all the hazelnuts from the car's interior. 2 hours. While it might seem as though a squirrel might be the most likely culprit in all this, it turned out that the actual animal responsible for stashing all the nuts in the car was a rat. The car,
Eh.
yeah, the car itself had been kept in a garage during the day. It just so happened that the man had been storing a large bag of hazelnuts nearby. Not anymore.
Hmm.
The rat, for whatever reason, had repeatedly snuck into the bag and moved the nuts to the car. I can tell you exactly why. Because it was a safe place. And because rodents store things in dens and burrows and in holes. And what's in an engine compartment? Holes and tunnels and things that look like they're dens. Especially air filters. Air filters. You know, my chipmunk's buddy.
Uh-huh.
That was her nap place. Her first year of her life. She would go take a nap in my air filter, my in cabin air filter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's where she took her nap. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I told her, I don't appreciate you doing that, but if you need to take a nap, just make sure you don't build a nest. But what did she do? She built a nest. Because when I went to go have at the end of the season, when I went to go have my oil changed, mechanic pulls up my in-cabin air filter and goes, "What in the hell?" And there's this little ball of, it was like a combination of like lint and
Uh-huh.
leaves, and it was like a little bed. And she made a bed on my air filter so she could take a nap
Mm,
because that's where she was safe. Nobody's going to get to her behind a bunch of steel.
right.
And she felt safe there. She knew that that was my vehicle. So we had to have a little talk about how you don't go to sleep in Papa's van. And she never did after that. Yeah. I also had to have a talk with I had to have a talk with another chipmunk about not putting nuts in my wheel well, because I ended up with a bunch of peanuts in my brake system.
Jeez.
That's how I know about the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my brakes were grinding. I was trying to figure out why my brakes were grinding, and I had peanuts all up in my wheel well and in my brake system. So I had to have a little talk with a chipmunk. I know you guys are like, why would you talk to a
Mhm.
chipmunk about that? Because they stop. Believe it or not, they stop when you talk to them. I know you guys are thinking I'm crazy, but they do. You tell them you can't store them in my wheel well. You got to take them to your den, and they do. But they think it's a safe place.
Mhm.
Yeah. So once you tell them you can't do it anymore, they stop. Mallie's like, you are so weird. But it's no more weird than telling a ghost you can't stay in my house anymore.
True, if you think about it. Yep.
You got to tell the chipmunk you can't put your nuts in my wheel anymore, because otherwise I'm going to drive it around town and give it to somebody else. And then they're like, no, no, just being nice. I could have went all kid Jesus on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say you gotta got out Jesus on him.
Yeah, could have went kid Jesus on them, but I didn't. All right. What's going on in your world, Mallie? We're at that time of the show.
Um, Nothing much. I'm going to go see my daughter. She is in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer musical this weekend.
Oh, very nice.
So, yes. So I'm going to go see her, and that's basically it. As far as I can't keep days straight anymore. I'm sure I got stuff going on, but just right now I'm just trying to keep my head on straight.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, um, besides getting every opportunity I can to see the new nephew, um,
Mm-hmm.
the new great nephew, and seeing the other nephew playing hockey, uh, I just looking forward to each and every new show. We have more and more interesting guests coming down the pike here in December. We had Todd Goldberg on this week. And tomorrow on the big show, Brooke Ashley is joining us. Brooke Ashley is an evidential medium. She fuses science, spirit, and the paranormal to deliver clear, verifiable messages from beyond. We'll talk to her about how she fuses all three to come up with these messages.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tomorrow on the big program.
Very cool.
Yep, yep, yep. So the hits just keep on coming this month, folks. So if you have someone you want to hear on the program, hit me up, tim at darknessradio.com. And again, if you're listening to the show and you're not watching this show on video, it's real simple. Go to the original Darkness Radio on YouTube, or simply go to darknessradioshow.com, click on the show you want to watch, and the video should be there along with the audio. If it's not, just be patient. It probably needs to be posted. Or it may not contain a video element. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. I had one other note here. Oh, yes. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. Thank you, Troy, for everything you do.
Thank you, Troy.
Let's see. What else? I think that'll do it for this week. All right. Again, tomorrow on the program, we say hello to Brooke Ashley. We will talk about her gifts as an evidential medium. For Mallie Fox, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to watch and listen to the best in paranormal podcasting. Again, if you enjoyed today's program, like and subscribe if you're on the video. If you're listening to the audio podcast, rate and review. Give us a 5-star review. We'd absolutely love and enjoy that. And again, if you're heading out this weekend to enjoy the winter weather or go out and look at Christmas lights, or you're enjoying any of the winter festivities, be sure to be a light in someone's darkness. Take someone out who is elderly or disabled. Be a light in someone's darkness this weekend and help those people who are elderly or disabled. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow for Brooke Ashley right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio.
For more audio and video archives of the show, intriguing content, fun events, and cool swag, check out darknessradioshow.com. The executive producer of Darkness Radio is Troy Palmer. If you enjoyed this program, please make sure you like and subscribe. This videocast is copyrighted for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this videocast, including pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the show, is prohibited without the consent of Darkness Radio Management. Thank you for watching. And be sure to join us tomorrow for Do You See What I See? Tales of an Evidentiary Medium with Brooke Ashley.